Hey everybody, it's Jim here and it's Tuesday and we normally go over some sort of guitar repair, but for today we're going to be doing something a little bit different, but it falls into line with the topic at hand. Recently, I did have a lot of gear that was damaged because of the hurricane, all that kind of fallout stuff. Luckily, a lot of it was repairable and a lot of it was replaceable. But one thing that did suffer some damage that I'm not so sure it's going to be able to come back from is something that's been with me for over 20 years at this point. Is this guy. Come on, old fella. Even wheeling this thing. It's a tank. This is my late 70s Music Man 212 HD 130 tube combo that I purchased used in 1997 from a store called Parkway Music in upstate New York, when they used to be in the same plaza as the pool hall, not in the big fancy place that they've moved on to these days. But problem with this amp and why I don't think it's going to be repairable, and I'd like to get your comments down below if you've ever had a similar experience. The value of this amp is far more sentimental than monetary. To replace this amp straight out would cost me, if I was lucky, $600 to $700. But to repair it, because this took a serious fall off a counter about 3 feet high, straight down onto hard flooring, and that was all she wrote. Sat in some water on top of that, no go. So not something that is going to be financially reasonable to replace, and also I don't think I'm going to buy another one of this exact model because it doesn't have the history that I have with it. So I guess my question to you is, has there ever been a piece of sentimental gear that has broken on you that was not worth nearly as much as the repair was going to cost you to get it fixed, that you ended up getting fixed, or that you're going to go the same route that I'm likely to go down, where you're just going to kind of keep it in the house, you're not going to throw it in the trash or anything like that, but its time with you as a piece of gear or a tool that you used to make music has come to an end? And one comment that showed up quite often in all those videos where I was talking about the hurricane before we even got back to be able to assess the damage was from people saying, keep your eyes open, be positive about this, because you're gonna get a bunch of money that you can go out and buy a whole bunch of gear with to replace whatever may be damaged whenever you get home. Well, I have to report, it's been a little bit of time. I've purchased one thing, exactly, and it's nothing that is going to be, special to a lot of people. It's not something I can even do a real demonstration on. The only thing I bought was a proper stand so I can actually have the Gibson Dove sit out all the time in the room. Maybe that will do what the case for the PRS did for me and just make me more drawn to actually sit and want to play it. But when it comes to this amp, I guess I took it for granted, because now that I don't have it, as great as the Gremlin is, it has no headroom whatsoever when playing with humbuckers. It has barely enough to get by. I can make it work with single coils if I want really pristine cleans, but this guy was just an absolute monster when it came to that. And I started looking around the market. I even made a comment to a few people in the Discord, mainly Ian, that I could not believe how few amps are made these days that have a actual tube-driven reverb and tremolo system built into them. So, finishing this video out, I'm going to ask you guys. I already asked you about if you've had a piece of gear that was in a similar spot as me, but what amp would you recommend, or would you like to see me potentially try out on this channel that has a tube-driven spring reverb, a tremolo, and is not a deluxe reverb, a Princeton reverb, a twin reverb, or a Vox? I've had all of those in the past. I want something a little bit different, and it has to have headroom. We're going to address headroom a lot in a video coming up where I do a little more extensive reviewing of the Tone King, because we only really did the Telecaster through it for the demo. I figured it'd be fun to use the Takashi Kato Strat, because that thing is amazing with it, and also give it a shot with the PRS to give you an idea of what I'm talking about when it comes to the headroom. But I look forward to seeing what you guys say down below, any directions that you can point me in. I'm more than willing to entertain any sorts of ideas at this point, and it's not an immediate need, but it's something that, yeah, I miss being able to have that with this old music, man. But before I get going today, first of all, I'd like to thank everybody who's been supporting this channel. So no matter how long you've been watching, whether you interact, you just watch, you leave likes, you subscribe, all of it. I can't say enough good things about every single one of you and how much I appreciate your support. And a little bit of side good news here. My kid was finally able to start school again, which is great for her because she needs to go back and actually, continue her development and, interacting with other kids her age, not just the big kid here. And then secondly, that means I'm gonna have more free time. So I'm gonna be able to go back to making videos on a more regular basis, and I look forward to it. I have a whole kind of note profile pad here of ideas ready to go. Just needed some time to be able to do it. But until Thursday, that's the next time you're gonna be seeing me. We'll be doing a live stream, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Let me know what you think about the amp or what you would buy to replace it in the comments below. Take it easy.